What?
Okay, that's easy. Comfortable there?
It's a lot warmer than where I've been sitting
Yeah,
there,
I
you know.
know.
Yeah.
I know that earlier in the morning, the guys were liking it sitting there.
Uh-huh.
The sun is getting
Well,
warm.
my wife, she have that, what do you call those, kind of, arthritis.
Oh,
Yeah, basic cold really hit her hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Tell me
Yeah.
when you're ready, Scott. Okay.
Yeah. So she's like that. You know, don't like the cold weather.
The sun feels good. It looks like it's going to be a nice day.
Yeah.
To start off, I'll just identify on the tape that
What?
I want to identify on the tape. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
From here? Okay.
The battery's down a little bit, though.
Yeah, I'll speak up. My name is Pam Stevenson, and I'm doing this interview on Saturday, March the 6th.
You're looking right at Pam, sir.
Yeah, just talk to me and forget he's
Right
there.
over here. I don't even exist.
What?
Just pretend like he's not there and talk to me.
Oh, okay.
Okay? It's Saturday, March 6th of 2004, and we're here at the Heard Museum, and I'd like you to give me your name, so we'll have that on tape.
Joe Hostine Kellwood. That's my name.
And tell me, when and where were you born?
Steamboat Canyon, care of Canado. It's about maybe 30, 40 some mile northwest of Window Rock. That's the location. Yeah, that's where I was born.
And when were you born?
1921. I have two birthday. On the paper, it's July 15, and the other one is August 20. You see, my mother and father passed away before they told me what my birthday is. You know, being my father and my mother didn't go to school in their days. So my father used to have a lot of racehorse in his young days, and he goes to a lot of rodeos, you know, like Gallup ceremonial. They have horse race. That's the only one I know that the rodeo, you know, that he said minus 5 days.
You better let that airplane go by. It's a pretty noisy one.
Yeah, I know.
I've had some other airplanes, but I haven't noticed any that noisy.
Maybe I'm talking too loud. Yeah, now we can start all over.
We can edit it. So, you're telling me about you were born in Steamboat Canyon?
Yes.
Yeah. And did you grow up there?
Same area until I got to be 10 years old on the reservation. Herd sheep, haul wood, chop wood, haul water, and take care of the horse. And sheep herding, all that was my job. All of us, you know, the Indians on the reservation. That's their work. Everyday thing. That's what you do. Herd the sheep, and, water the horse, and chop wood. Yeah. Daily work.
You spoke Navajo, right?
Yeah.
So what happened when you were 10?
They sent me off to school to Fort Apache. You know, it's on Apache reservation, Fort Apache. I went to school there at that time, 1931. There was a military school. And there we had to speak English once the school started. and I don't know how to speak English, so I got a lot of spank now and then because I blare out my own language now and then, get myself in trouble. So I got a lot of strep for that, at night after ready to go to bed. And anyhow, military school is where we wear uniform just like regular soldiers, and parade early morning and put up the flag in the morning. Everybody in formation, there's older boys and the medium and then the little group is where I'm at, so all three groups. They parade early morning and in the evening to bring back the flag down, so we all salute, or the person that representing us salute for us, so everybody is good shape. So there's many groups, just like a regular parade, in the evening and early morning. Very strict. Very strict, and you have to be clean and have to be on time. Anything like that, that puts you in trouble. But to stay out of trouble, you have to be there on the time you're supposed to be there. Then you don't get any kind of trouble. And they closed that school about 1933 or 30, about 33, I think. And they closed that school, and from there I went to Camus Canyon. It's on Hopi Reservation. Go to school there, and by that time they have a lot of day school starts going on the reservation, So after I went to Camus Canyon, then the next year I went to one of those day schools, closer, and you go home every day instead of being away 9 months, like to Fort Apache. Yeah. There you stay over there a whole 9 months before you just go back for the summer, 2.5 months, something like that, then you start heading back to school. Yeah. So that's the way it is on the old days, But I learned a lot, this way and that way. I pick up, start the English pretty good, especially when I got to Camus Canyon. We have good teachers and very easy to learn and a very good teacher, They show you how to say things and how to pronounce all these things, letters put together, so that was real nice to me, I learned that way, and you kind of stays in your head once you start doing that. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
So where did you go to high school?
Wingate Vocational High School, where you go to school half a day and work half a day, vocational, learning the trade. In my line, I was learning to be a carpenter, so I had a lot of free time there, going to vocational high school. My instructor give me the keys at night in the evening, so I go to a carpenter shop, open up and work with the machines, saw, and I was making a lot of things for my sister, and my mother, like things for weaving. Yeah, spin, all those things. You had to cut them out with long straight stick, board, and it has to be hardwood. So, I had to have that thing about a little more than half an inch square, and then you had to round it up, and you had to cut some about a foot long, and make little teeth, the comb where they, at the other end, just pointed, where they weave the yarn down like that with it, So I make all those and long stick where you can divide it, weave in, to the white, and then you flip it over to whiten up a little more and shove the yarn through the open area, and then take the stick out and pound it down. All those things are that, that's what I work on at night, and cabinet, make kitchen cabinets and different things like that, just what you want to do, and you're free to do it,
Where were you when the war started?
Let me see. Remember, I told you my mother passed away in 1937, and my father passed away in 1939. And I don't know what my birthday is that I told you. So, in the same thing, when my father passed away, he was a medicine man, and provide a lot of good things, material and food and things like that. When he passed away, we have nothing. So about 1940, I dropped out of school, and I started working, and they had kind of like war jobs starting at, in Wingate Ordnance Depot, where they have a lot of igloos stored with the ammunition. When they start building that, a lot of the students, because they short on labor, and they sent the whole group of us down there to get jobs. So we stayed there, worked at that building up the military ammo supply base, and help with the cement, when they pour in the igloos, and also this metal, the igloos, all those, we work on. And we all just students from Wingate, and we had the storekeeper make arrangements for us where we can kind of more or less get a tent, on credit, and then we pay for as it goes, and they also have our grocery list, what we need, and they supply us with food and what you need, and a tent, and we even have those gas kerosene stove, where we cook our supper and breakfast. And lunchtime, we just make a paper sack of fried bread with the fried potatoes. And you hang those things up in the tree, they had a lot of trees, in the area. You just hang those in the sunshine. By noontime, you have a nice hot lunch, yeah. I still remember that, yeah. And it's good that they had the fried potatoes and the fried bread, nice and warm. So that's the way our lunch is, and other supper and breakfast we cook, And not just one tent, we had the tent lined up like the military.
So when did you actually get enlisted in the real military?
Well, not yet. When I work in there, we work from the start to the finish of that job. They had the operating engineer, survey, had to make that fast. We work on that, and then we work on those igloos. And by that time, they start loading up ammunition in those igloos, and that's the time I went into that job. When they start hiring for, let's say, storing ammunition, and we all got on civil service job, and Joe Kellwood got the job with the bomb. We store a lot of bombs, some 2,000-pound bomb, about 8 foot long, about that. Oh, about almost 3 feet diameter. Yeah, heavy, but easy to roll them around on conveyors, you know, and all kind of bounds. Some of them probably 300 pounds, and some of them 500. So we had a whole big load of those bombs stored, and I was the game pusher on that job. So I got a good pay, and you know, everything works fine. And by that time, you know, my sister, you know, she's married. I don't have to worry no more. So I worked there until about from 41. I was working there when the war started. Yeah, and the war started. I was working at that ammunition depot. Dropped out of school. I was in the 8th grade when I dropped out. And that is just going to have a day, you know, endless reading and things like that, you know. The rest is trade school. So I worked there till 1942, and I get good pay and job. A lot of times Saturday and Sunday, you know, work. So we get a lot of good pay. So I know I'm getting close to 21. Once you're 21, you get a draft, you know, and I didn't want that. And I hear so much about Marine hitting Guadalcanals, you know, during 42. That just my whole life become, I want to be one, you know, the best fighting man the United States have. So that's how I make up my mind that as time goes by, you know, Japanese took all that Asiatic and Singapore and India, those areas there, and took the Philippines. We have Navajos on the Philippines, you know, that went to school same place I did. And they went ahead of me, probably a couple of years ahead of me. And they all got prisoner, you know, and they're there. And I decide it's time to go, you know. So I decide to ask the person that run the depot. He's a captain. He's an army captain. I asked him, you know, I'm going to be 21 before long. I'd like to enlist into Marine Corps, be like a good fighting man like the people on Guadalcanal. He said, hey, congratulations, I feel good for you. So he said to go to enlist, you had to go to Albuquerque to get an enlist. And I pay my way. And he told me when I enlist, make sure I'm in there for sure, and then let them know they'll send my last check. And I left Gallup on the Greyhound, went to Albuquerque, New Mexico. I enlist, take my test, and they gave me 2 weeks to put my thing squared away. So I took everything what I have, tent and what gas stove that I have back to reservation. And I told my sister that I'm going into training to be a Marine. And she just turned away from me, you know, and I noticed her tears, right? Her tears running. It was not funny, you know what I mean? It make you sick when you have a nice sister that takes care of you when you're little. Now, they're kind of scared of this war coming, so I just told her, you know, I can go meet the enemy. Yeah. That I did. Yeah.
So where did they send you?
Huh?
Where did the military send you? Where did the Marines send you then?
Well, 2 weeks up, and I went back to Albuquerque. I went on a bus, a big load of Navajos, you know, all youngs going into service. To get an exam, those that make it goes to the Army, you know, Fort Bliss. And myself take another test at enlistment in Albuquerque in Marine Corps, and they sent me in the evening, put me on a train with some paperwork that I had to take with me. They sent me to Phoenix. On the way from Albuquerque, we coming through Gallup, New Mexico. We stopped in Gallup, New Mexico in the evening. That's when it started getting dark. Here all these Navajos, some of them I went to school with, and some of them I know, you know, here and there from other school, all coming aboard, about 29 of them. And I asked them where they're going. They said, going to Marine Corps, San Diego. I told them I'm heading that way. I had to make a curve to go through Phoenix. Yeah. So we traveled together to Ashford. They went on through and they sent me down this way. It was starting in the evening in Albuquerque, and I was coming through Wickensburg about 10 o'clock, 10:30 in the morning, heading to Phoenix. Yeah, and we pull into Union Station here, and my instruction, when I get out of the station, go 4 blocks north and go east 4 blocks. And 3rd floor, that's a security building on Central and Van Buren. And that's where I had to go, and took another exam. And I stayed overnight, and I remember they gave me food, to get food, money, you know. And first thing I really hit me was that nice vegetable plate. So I had a vegetable plate for supper, and then stay overnight. Oh, before I went to bed, I went down to Washington, about 3 blocks down to the south. All those sailed down the street, you know, and I look around a little bit. And I had a movie camera with me. They told me to send it back. I don't need it. And other things that I have, you know, that they told me I don't need, so I had to send that back. I was going to be the first one to be a movie. But, you know, you have it, you know, so, but they didn't let me. And I stay overnight, and the next day we stay all day until in the evening. Then they put us on a train. There was one Apache going into a Navy and 2 white boys going into Marine Corps, and 1 Navajo. So 4 of us, we traveled from here to San Diego. And on the way between here and Yuma, we stopped for about an hour, and while all those freight trains going by heading this way. And next morning, when the sun come out, we traveling by Yuma. So from there, we hit the mountain, some of those tunnels we went through with another extra motor, you know, diesel. And we went through some those tunnels, and then finally pulled into San Diego in the afternoon. And we were hungry. We didn't get no meal, you know what I mean? So when we got to San Diego, and they took me to a place, big building. And I walk in there, hear all these Navajo that was on the train with me. They all in there sitting around all the way here and there, you know. And they kind of scare me, you know. Hey, I'm a government man now, you know. I can't do what I want to do, you know, like on reservation, go to some of those dance on the weekend. No, I can't do it. Kind of scary feeling, you know.
When did you find out about the code, that you were going to have to learn the code?
We head into that.
Oh, okay.
So we waited quite a few days, and then another group come in from the east. You know, all these group from the East, they all good educated people, football players, and college, university, and some farmers, you know. So we went half and half, just like, well, the first group, the first 30 is just 30. This one is half and half Navajo, half white. And we did a pretty good job. Our platoon was 920, yeah. 920, 921, 22, 23, something like that. About 3 battalions, you know, graduate all together. And we went to boot camp together and got transferred. Oh yeah, while we there, the 2nd Marine Division is moving out. And the group, some of the code talkers from the first group is with that 2nd Marine Division. And the others already on Guadalcanal, you know, the first group, part of the first group with the 1st Marine Division. Second group moving out with the 2nd Marine Division. We got to meet and give us some idea how to remember words, you know, Morse code, like Brigadier General is F and come to child, you know, K and things like that, you know. And all Doc did it, and you know how to remember the Morse code, because you had to go through that, you know. So it was all a lot of things that helpful, you know, to our group, and we didn't know we were going to be code talkers, you know what I mean? Myself, I just put in for scout anything, you know, when I enlist. So now we know what we're going to do, and. Just one time they visit us, and then they said they shoving off. And this is about October 4, 5, somewhere like that. And from there we went to school, and I tell you, half and half. And we did pretty doggone good at the rifle range, you know. See, boot camp, and then you go to rifle range. And Navajo did a really good job on those because they good hunters and prairie dogs, you know, on reservation, yeah. And another thing that really helped us is the Sioux is the instructor at the rifle range. So he makes sure we hit what we aim, you know what I mean? Some of the good medicine, you know. And a lot of times people ask me why I joined Marine Corps. It's our teacher give us all the information, you know, the time the war start and going through Poland and then the rest of the little country and then to France. Germany taking all those. And Japanese taking all that field and Asiatic. So that's what I think make us all mad, all of us, you know what I mean? Build up, you know? So we're not afraid no more, you know? We're willing to do what we had to do. And that's the way we feel, and we did a good job at rifle range. And the graduation, and we finished the graduation. All these groups, they went 30 days vacation back to their home. The rest of us, we got shoved to Camp Elliott and start the school right away. Navajo language school, Morse code, semaphore, and blinkers, and anything to do with the communication. Wire up the, what do you call that, quite a switchboard. Yeah, all these, you have to learn hard. And I tell you, with my 8th grade vocational school, I had to learn a lot more words, you know what I mean, and the name to remember. Some of the things that was on my side, at night, I stay up many nights. Weekend, I study, and I made it through that boot camp, you know, coach school, yeah. And about 3 didn't make it. One not enough education, the other one not talk loud enough, and another one had a spot on the lungs. So 3 we lost.
So once you made it through code school. Where did they send you?
When we finished our code school, about February, towards the last of February, and we're ready to get transferred out of the school. Paperwork come back from 1st Marine Division. They need more alphabet names for words, a whole list of it. And because Guadalcanal have 4 A's, 1 A is not enough. Enemy is going to pick it up like that. They're smart. So we had to make 3 more alphabet down the line. And a lot of those is I'm with the group that did that, you know, on the second list of it. And a lot more words we make names for. We just sit in the room. You know, a person mentioned one name, the rest don't agree. We had to go pick up another words. You know, all these anything, small words, something that you remember, something that grabs right away. You know, and this is what the code is. Something short, something you are familiar with. Anything that you're familiar with, you're hard to get out of your head things, you know. And some pretty names, some little dirty names, you know, so it's all work, you know what I mean? But it's things that you can remember. And we finally graduate again on the, let's see, about February, and transfer to a group that is ready to shove off, you know what I mean? It's all infantry, you know, that we got transferred to. 3 of us. One fellow from Tuba City, his name Dennis Kell Chaser, and one fellow from New Mexico, his name Andrew Caldido, and one named Joe Kellwood from Steamboat, you know what I mean? 3 of us got transferred into that. And 1 weekend leave. And Monday, everything had to be destroyed, anything that you like, all the pictures and letters that you have to be trashed, you know, all those pretty pictures. I see them pile up in the garbage, you know. Something maybe you like to keep, but they won't let us keep anything. So, sent the things home that you want to keep. And the next day, all packed. Bedrolls and the double pack and the sea bag and the rifle. Load us up on the truck and from Camp Elliott to San Diego. And we aboard ship. You know, they call our name as we go by, you know, just loading up. And we have a big load of Navy nurses way up on top. And we got the paratrooper, you know, and also this infantry unit that we got transferred to. We all got aboard ship in one morning. In towards the afternoon, we start sailing out. We don't know where we're going. You know we're going southwest. Just keep going southwest all the way down until we close to hitting the equator. The hurricane hit us, and I tell you, that is something else to remember. You sliding around because everybody's puking, you know, and trying to eat your coffee and food, slide back and forth in that little tray table, you know what I mean? And you see the water splash down, you don't see the front of the boat no more, and pretty soon come back up, you know. and you a big wave of ocean just like that. You know, you're going downhill and you're going uphill next. Everybody puking, I tell you that. And finally, a whole day like that, and then finally we hit equator. And the Navy, for the first time, they always have that ceremony for the young ones, you know, and they had programs where they have young people like being punched, you know, in the old days, you know, like that. But it's all enjoyable, you know. That's all the rest of us, we just watch, you know. They get chained down on the hatch, you know, on top of the hatch, you know, the big, got the board over the top. They all got chained down like they are slave, you know. But that's their program. And they give you a card that you cross the equator. And we went maybe couple more days, maybe a day and a half, we got to New Caledonia. New Caledonia, and the Navy nurse got unloaded and the paratrooper. And the rest of us, maybe a couple days, and we start heading south again. We stopped by the area where Australian capital, and some paperwork probably, and let them know that we coming in, you know. And we sailed south down to another little island, Tashi or something like that, you know. Can't tell, it starts with a T, I remember that. It's a little island about 50 miles south of Melbourne, Australia. Then pulling to the port, and all these Aussie kids, you know, they want us to throw some quarters in the water so they can dive down there and find it, you know what I mean? We're aboard ship like that in the afternoon. Finally, they unload us and put us on a truck, you know, an Aussie driver, and we become Aussies, you know what I mean? Yeah, bloody bloke, bloody yo, you know, everything's bloody, you know what I mean?
When did you finally see some military action?
Well, that is where the 1st Marine Division stationed after they pull up from Guadalcanal. And we stayed there 7 months raising kids there in Australia, and probably another reservation down there, you know what I mean? Yeah, probably a lot of Navajos down there. And stationed there 7 months, about September, October. We moved back out into Pacific. We got into the area, New Guinea, Melon Bay, where we stationed the rest of the group, Goodenough Island down below us. At that time, the war was just across the street, kind of like, you know, on the other side of the New Guinea. Like Port Moresby, I think is where the Australian group fighting over the mountain, chasing the Japanese back over the mountain. They coming through over the mountain. That's where all the big wars and a lot of rains going on. So we grouped with the Australian and Army. We're under MacArthur, General MacArthur. One division he need with his group, that was 1st Marine Division. And one 1st Marine Division and the rest of the Army and the Australian. 3 different group, follow that New Guinea edge, you know, hit the beach here and there, and we hit the first one. I hit is Cape Gloucester, New Britain on Christmas Day, 1943. And I stayed on that, lot of rain, lot of trees falling down because they streaked the whole force during the landing. And a lot of those trees are damaged. So one night, a storm hit us. We lost a couple coke talkers, you know, tree falls on them. Yeah. And the rest of us, we all had these sleeping bags that you tie to the tree, you know, hammock. And I woke up, my bed swinging back and forth like that, and I stick my foot out of the hammock. I got my foot in the water. And my shoes was down below. I couldn't find my shoes. It's already washed away. So I ended up no shoes, and they guess they had to find some dead Marines to get me shoes, you know. Yeah, because it's war there, you know. We lost casualty not as bad as, you know, Guadalcanals and other place. But still, you know, we lost division probably around close to 300, you know. And one evening in afternoon, late in the afternoon, we got the paperwork where we had to go on patrol, not patrol, but follow the last organized Japanese that went into the valley. Joe Kellwood was one on the list to go with the group because I'm the younger one than the first group. The first group, his name is John Chi. So he stayed, and I went, supposed to go with on that patrol. But I was thinking to myself, God, you know, it's going into the valley, into a jungle. It's late in the afternoon. It's not a good time, you know. But they canceled that. You know, I guess they was reading my mind. So we didn't go into that patrol. It was good.
Did you see some other combat experience?
Oh, well, that's a combat. Through that, all that Japanese on top of the hill, Hill 660, dead Japanese all over the place. That's why I got the, what do you call that thing there, all the Marines gets, you know, that, I can't think of the name. When I get to, I'll let you know what it is. The one you take yellow tablets for.
Oh, malaria?
Yeah, I got malaria on that little hill, the Hill 660. And I didn't know nothing for 2 weeks, you know, so finally they told me I got malaria. And
so
we moved.
Were you using the code all the time when you were out there?
Not always, because the X is not all that many. Just when it has to be used for different things like that, you know, and not very much. And we moved up the island all the way to peninsula. It's called Talasia. Halfway up New Britain. Yeah, New Britain, and Army relieved us. Army relieved us in May, and we come back to Guadalcanal and train some more. And the next one is in September 15. We hit a Palau Island group called Palalu. Yeah. There we lost a lot of Marines because Japanese is inside the mountain with the equipment. We're all on the outside, hot, 118 degrees. Yeah, a lot of Marines run out of water, got their mouths swollen, and you know, sunstroke, and all those things happened there. But there we did a lot of coke talking for ammunition. I know I order artillery. There's a big door on the front of the mountain that they tried to hit a lot of those big rocks on top to come close the big door. But even the Navy, they shooting at that door. They couldn't do nothing with that. They just, you know, maybe a little hole, but that's about it, but nothing really destroyed. And Japanese, 10,000 Japanese inside that mountain. Outside, got holes all over the place, and got all kind of gun emplacement all on that mountain there. They almost cleaned us out quick, I tell you that. But we stayed there until until November 9, and then we got relieved by the Army, and we went back to Guadalcanal, a place called Pavuva, Russell Island. Trained some more, and the next last one is Okinawa. And that's where you see a lot of those pictures of me. Ernie Powell interviewed us on the way on the ship. He know there's Navajos on Italy doing same kind of work, but he wants to know how we do ours, being we well trained. So he's going to listen to our voice on the radio. So we all dig out our radios and all on the different ship. We start talking to each other, so we start talking to each other, condition red. Put everything away. The Navy don't know us. Yeah, that's what happened. But that's the one, the last one, Operation Okinawa. That's 1945, April 1st, April Fool's Day, and also Easter Sunday. Yeah.
When you look back on all of those experiences, how do you feel about having been a code talker?
I used to think, why we take all those islands? We have to give it back to the people over there. We should keep all those islands. That's what I used to think. But now, you know, it's their land, you know, that been used by Japanese, you know, it's not their choice. So it don't bother me at all. The only thing I always remember is I should go back to Australia, be bloody Aussie one more time.
Did you know how important your code was at the time?
Yes, I know. When we trained, they told us any person asking us about the code, anything like that, to report to your officer. We never did, because the people we were with are good friends. You know what I mean? Just like relatives. You get that way. You know, you're not Indian no more. You know, just like when I was over there in Australia, I'm not the Indian. I'm just one of the Yank. Bloody York.
What do you tell young people today that about your experiences, or what advice do you give young people?
Well, I do a lot. About whole group of people in Phoenix. I travel all the time. I travel about 3 times to ASU, Tempe, and I got about 3 times to the west. Now I got one lined up on the east in Williamsfield for the 31 of this month. Yeah, so I'm busy all the time. Yeah, well, we'll let that go by this time. So my outfit went to China, and they sent me back to United States. And I got the message, people with 200 and some points transferred to anti-aircraft outfit battalion. We got transferred to that battalion. My outfit went to China occupation. Myself, I ended up with Typhoon on that unit. And I'll tell you that 60, some close to 100 miles an hour Typhoon dragged that thing back and forth. The tent, start leaning over. We fighting it to keep it together. But
you must be really proud of those years that you were a code talker.
Well, it is, and I know the radio man, towards the end, and he asked me one time, what is NUSBUS mean, which means 0, and if it's a number, You have to cross that O, so you don't confuse with the O, letter O. So that's the way you work. You have to be trained good, you know, and when you go through all this, you memorize the whole thing. It's just like your own language. You know, if you ever go to a square dance or a round dance, you know, they use words, you know, ocean away, you know, and boxing net. Same thing, words, build words together, but you all have to agree together to use it that way. That way it works.
Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to us.
Oh yeah, huh?
Yeah. Hey.
Big mouth, huh?
That's a lot of stories.
So from there I went back to reservation.
Yeah.
1 month. And then come back. I've been down here since 1946, February 3rd.
So you
Yeah.
never went and lived back at the reservation?
I learned my trade at ASU. At the time it was a college, and you know there was a lot of job here, and you know.
So you worked at ASU?
No,
Oh.
carpenter.
Oh, carpenter.
Yeah,
Oh.
all in Phoenix here, and even in Palo Verde and Sun City, you name it. I've been here driving nail for about 47 years, and finally retired. One good thing, nobody's shooting at you. You know what I mean? That's the
My father
difference.
was a carpenter in California.
I know. I worked with one carpenter female too, you know. But it's always good job, and a lot of things you do with the opposite sex always fun. You know what I
You
mean?
need a good carpenter.
Yeah.
You always need a good carpenter.
Yes, I know. That's for sure. Yeah.
He's just getting a couple more shots and then we'll be done.
All right. Take it away, Leon.
What does that
Yeah,
mean?
in my name, when they call me to radio, they call me Geronimo, and some call me Wahoo, and then some of them Tommy Hawk, and you know, names like that. They just call you by first thing they think of. It's just like another thing that grabs. You know what I mean? So those are a lot of my names. You know, and. Geronimo, I don't mind at all. I know
Do you
he's
still
a
use the
good.
Navajo language much today?
What?
Do you speak Navajo very much
Yes,
today?
to myself, I'm alone, you know, all those years, but I still can talk with these people just as good as the, you know, the time I was on the reservation.
But
You don't forget.
Your children or grandchildren, they speak Navajo?
No, no.
Is this already signed up for? Are those already signed over there?
Just a minute, I think you have to go at the end of the line here.
Signed up to you? Yeah. Those are already signed by you?
It goes that.
Okay, start here. Oh, she needs one of those books, and they're all out.
Yeah, buy a whole bunch. They'll
No, I
be
mean,
nice.
where are these books if they're out? No, this young man will give you one right there.
It's on the Navajo.
It has been signed, I'm sorry. No, it has been signed.
Right here. San Diego. Good cut.
I think you might have missed my page. Okay. If I can get you to do my page, that would be great.
Yeah, that's the lunch.
Now we gotta have everybody here, man. Good stuff. Glad you guys are here today. This is a treat. 8 and 59.
By how many? All Why would that be? How come that's already signed? I know. Oh, I see.
I made a mistake. My wife wanted me to get this one instead of this one. Is that okay?
But you had go to the
To the other one.
over there.
These three too?
I don't follow instructions very well.
Jim?
I was supposed to get this one instead. Is that okay? I paid for this one already, but I was supposed to get this one instead. That was what my wife wanted me to get.
So which one did you brought back?
I brought this one back.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I get one of that same kind he's got? Right. Can I get one of those?
My son's oh, these are already on. I need one of those. This is for a child. Those ones?
Yes. I love it. And who did you say to make it out to the association?
My driver's license. So again, the importance of passing your language down from the generation to the next.
Phone number? I don't trust you. You want my phone number?
That's kind of cute.
Yeah. He's kind of cute. Which one's that? The children's one. Yeah. Well, thank you, gentlemen, very much. You're all good. Yeah.
Let's see if it's all signed. Oh, you did this? Okay, now what's your name? Where is your name? Okay, did you sign it?
Only got one finish.